In this world of, I'll say lightly, business, people's coming together are transactional. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. People only scratch your back because you agree to scratch theirs. It is not because people are bad. It's not because people are vile or vicious. It's because hurt people hurt people. I hope you had some time to reflect on your homework from last week. You know, when someone is destitute, when someone is helpless, they will do anything to get that help they need. Just ask yourselves, put yourself in those situations. Go back, take a walk in the path of life. And remind yourself those times when you needed something, how desperately you went and sought, beseeched that help. Remember how you begged for it? All honor and pride at that moment goes out the window because you want it so badly. When you wanted a job, remember the first time you got a job, your first job? I remember that time when I got my first job. My first job was working at a newsagent's. When I was just at college, I worked at a newsagent's. Selling things, learning how the world works, and earning my pocket money because I didn't want to bother my parents. Even at that point, at that time, I thought, they've done enough for me. Why should I'm a man who can stand up on his own 2 feet. I've got my arms, I've got my legs, I've got a head straight. I know a thing or two. Why should I have to bother my parents? Let me try and do what I can to chip in. And so I did. Every month, I'd earn myself a decent 200 to 300 pounds just working at the shop agents, the news agents. I do a newspaper round every once in a while. I enjoyed that because I could do something for my family. I thought I was the one paying the bills. So mother accepted, whatever I earned, and I went and said, "Mama, use this to pay the bills." She said, "Oh, okay, put that. Thank you." I think she probably put it in a drawer somewhere and then forgot about it. Or maybe she just went and put it into my bank account. But she was so kind enough to give me the feeling that I was the one who was paying the bills at home. But I can never say enough about parents and teachers. And from time to time, please allow me the liberty to share some of my own experiences, because as I do so, I'm sure you will have your own experiences that will come afresh to your mind. And rejoice in them, ladies and gentlemen. You're entitled to. You're entitled to rejoice in the good deeds, in the great things that your parents have done for you. Every time you think of that and every time you rejoice in it, I allow you to do so because it earns you merits. It's a meritorious deed. Just to be grateful. Gratitude itself is a meritorious deed, just to be grateful. And who better than for your teachers and your parents? So allow me from time to time. I remember to this day how my mother used to wash the clothes at home with her own bare hands. Not because she couldn't afford a washing machine. But you know what? She made me think that we couldn't. So there were 4 of us at home, mother, Amma, Apachi, Malli and myself. So every weekend she would take the clothes into the washing room, into the bathroom, and she would wash them. She would ask me to come and watch her. I know your stories will be quite similar in many ways, if not in every way, in many ways. I remember the lessons your father taught you, sir. She made me watch how she washed the clothes. She made me sit down. They had a little bench, a little stool, sit down, and she made me watch how she washed the clothes. And how she would wipe the the sweat of her forehead. Every time giving me the impression that life is not easy. She could buy herself a washing machine quite comfortably. But you know what she did? She waited until I earned my first salary working at the newsagents and buy her that washing machine. That was the first thing I bought with the money that I'd earned. A washing machine for my mother. Now, this is not to say that I'm such a nice son. That's not what this is for. I'm saying, look at what our parents have done for us. As I share this story with you, I'm sure you will have 100 stories that you can relate. Look at what our parents have done for us. She taught me that in life you don't get what you desire, you only get what you deserve. So you have to work for it. And I felt over the moon. Can you imagine that? A boy, 18, 19 years of age, his first salary, he buys his mother a washing machine. It was a surprise as well. She knew it all the way. She knew what was going to happen. She knew where I was looking. I got the catalog. I was flicking through the pages. She knew I'd called the drivers, the delivery. She knew all of it. She pretended she didn't know any of it. I'm sure you will have plenty of stories like that. She grounded me. And later on, when I began to understand the Dhamma, I realized all this putting up on pedestals, all this singing praises, all of that is just because they want their back scratched. Again, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in the way of I mean it in a way where I want you to think why people have to resort to that. Because they're helpless. Because when they're helpless, people need help. When they're destitute, they need refuge.